If you've ever felt completely alone, spent nights wondering how much longer this feeling will last, or been overwhelmed by the thought that you might not be good enough, this video is made for you. Let's get into the 15 facts that will comfort you in your times of loneliness. Fact number 1, you're so busy looking around at everyone else thinking, why not me? Why doesn't my life look like that? Why don't I have those friends? That your loneliness is stuck in a negative state. Loneliness is simply having a negative perception of being alone. But being alone isn't a bad thing. Being alone isn't something you need to be sad about. It can bring you so much joy, fulfillment, and contentment. Loneliness is simply created from having an external focus, an external locus of control, because you believe other people are the answer, but that's not the case. You can so easily convert your loneliness into solitude by finally looking at yourself and shifting your perception to one that celebrates all those moments of being alone. 2. Lonely is all in your belief that no one cares for you, no one's going to be there for you, and no one likes you. This is an example of a scarcity mindset because it does not matter how many times you've been hurt or burned in the past. This is not the case at the present moment. A lot of the time we make the mistake of using our past to define our present, and it takes away all of the joy and all of the gratitude and happiness and love that a lot of the time is right in front of us, away from us, because we're only ever living in the past. We're so consumed by the way that we've been that we're taking situations that have already happened and that don't exist anymore, and living our lives in accordance with them, therefore, just causing a deeper pit of sadness for ourselves, which is so far from the truth. And this leads me on to 3. Loneliness is simply the result of an absence of yourself. Because, listen, let's say technically you don't have anyone. No one's there for you, no one's shown up for you in the way that you wished they would, but you're there for you. You're always going to have you. You, the only person that's been by your side every single second of your life. You, the only person on this planet that knows yourself the most. No one will ever understand you like you do. So this feeling of loneliness is trying to teach you something. It's trying to teach you that you're number one. It's your body telling you, hey, look at me, pay attention to me. Because this is a chance for you to be able to show up for yourself, and it has the power to change the trajectory of your life. I experienced so much loneliness throughout all of my teen years, and as soon as I started realizing this and having this mindset shift, that hey, what if I give myself everything that I'm seeking from others? My relationship with myself transformed. I had never seen it that way, that I could give myself everything, and that I am my number one best friend, and that I am the love of my own life. And anything I seek from others, I can already give it to myself. And I also want you to understand that loneliness isn't a curse. You were given this feeling. You were given this life and these circumstances because you are strong enough to live it. 4. Guess what? You're not surrounded by bad energy. You're not surrounded by misaligned friends. You're not chasing people for the sake of having company. Wow, actually, wow. Listen, it is much better. In fact, it is a win to spend time alone rather than surrounding yourself with people who can't match your light or who can't deserve your energy. You are finally in a place where you will accept loneliness because you finally care more about your well-being than what other people think about you. Round of applause, honestly. 5. There is a future version of you that is right now just wishing they could tell you how good it gets, just wishing you could see right now, in all of your pain and your hurt, how you get everything, every dream that has ever crossed your mind. They are remembering you in your moments of sadness and aloneness and thinking, just wait till you feel so loved and so connected and so understood. But they don't pity. They actually look back at your time alone and they believe it was necessary because they now know and understand that it was inevitable, that they were always going to get the circle, the life, the circumstances that they dreamed of, but that Waiting time was so necessary so that they could finally come home to themselves, so that they were ready for those circumstances and for those dreams. I want you to remember that the things that you seek out so bad, the things that you want and need so bad, you want them, you desire them, because you already have them in the future. And if you don't believe me, how many times in the past do you look back when you were sad, or when you thought life was going to end, or when you thought your life was over and it was never going to get better? And you look back now and you think, life isn't perfect, but I've made so much progress. And so, if you've done that now, won't that just happen tenfold as you keep growing, as you keep evolving, as you keep getting older? Believe in yourself. All of your thoughts and desires that run through your mind, they don't happen on accident. They're happening for a reason. They are encouraging you to get onto the path that you're meant to go down, so that you can actually go and pursue all of those things. They are not happening to then make you hopeless and think, I'm never going to get the friends, I'm never going to get the job, I'm never going to get the dream life. Similarly, fact 6, the people you seek out are seeking you out too. Just because it's taking time doesn't mean it's not happening. Your present doesn't determine your future. So, while you may feel like you've struggled in finding your people, doesn't mean they're not going to come. And while you feel like you might be the only person on this planet feeling this way, I promise you that there are people out there that also feel lonely right now, that are also praying that they meet a friend or a person in their life who has the exact same traits that you do. They are praying for a person exactly like you in their life. The people you want you too. 7, you can't stop waiting to stop feeling lonely, because the only person that can control that feeling of loneliness is yourself. How can you be lonely when you're always with yourself? How can you be bored when you can date yourself? How can you feel unlovable when you are the one that controls all of your thoughts and beliefs and perceptions? You get to control how you look at the world and how you look at yourself. It was never about other people. It was never about them. Doesn't matter what they've said. It doesn't matter how they've treated you, because what everybody does is always a projection of themselves. But when you make the conscious decision to finally look at the most authentic version of you and think, I actually love myself, and I love every single part of myself, and I love what I bring to the table, and I love my personality, and I love the way I make mistakes, and I love the way I learn from them, and I love the way that I make other people laugh, and I love my sense of humor, and I love my kindness and my compassion and my understanding for others. What is that to feel bad about? Why would you ever feel like you're not good enough when you are fully consciously aware of everything that makes you so amazing? Then, being lonely only is simply just a waiting point. It doesn't define you. It doesn't determine your character, because you are fully aware that people would be lucky to have you in their lives, and you are just in a place in your life where you haven't found the people that align with you yet. Just like with every other area of your life, you're waiting. Just because you don't have the dream job right now doesn't mean you're not going to get it. It's a journey to get there. Just because you haven't found your soulmate yet doesn't mean you're never going to get them. It's a journey to find them, and the same goes for friendship, and the same goes for finding your circle. 8, maybe you're meant to be lonely because being lonely is where all of the magical self-discovery happens. Because a lot of people believe they're lonely because when they have friends, or when they're surrounded by others, or they have the lifestyle that they think they want because they see other people living it, that it will make them happy. But how is it going to make you happy? Because you're telling me that the second those people aren't near you, the second you have to move to a new city alone, the second that you go a few weeks without talking to them, all of your happiness gets snatched away with that. Your happiness becomes dependent on the actions of other people. Why would you ever want to put yourself through that torment and suffering? That's why you have been given the gift of loneliness right now, to build a foundation of happiness and gratitude all by yourself, so that when you feel that joy, when you're with other people and they leave for whatever reason, the happiness stays with you. It doesn't affect you as a person. It doesn't ruin your life, because if you've watched my videos than, other people leaving are so important. It's something to be celebrated. In fact, to outgrow someone means that you are evolving as a person and you are following your true life path. To leave a toxic friendship means that you finally know your worth and you're confident in yourself. To know that you are worthy and deserving and capable of getting better friends. And so the reason that you are lonely is so that you can finally take the time to learn about yourself, because you can't love yourself unless you know yourself. And when all of your time is spent alone with your own thoughts, when you spend your weekends alone at home, that's nothing to be ashamed of. That's the time where you figure out your interests, when you figure out what your values are, when you start building up your set of standards. Most people on this planet have never been able to give themselves that level of attention, and why would they? As human beings, we are always chasing the next best thing, the next person, the next job, the lifestyle we want, the holiday we want to go on, to material things. A lot of people don't take the time to actually sit with themselves for even a full day. And you are given this phase now so that you can protect yourself and build up the necessary foundations of self-love, so that you go after a life that is fully and truly meant for you, because you took the time to learn about yourself rather than going after what you think you want or allowing other people to determine what you want. So you just follow their lead. This links into number 9. In the moments of silence where there is so much stillness and there are no distractions and it feels a bit too quiet and lonely, that's where the most growth is going to happen for you. You are making so much more progress in your life just by being alone and sitting with that feeling, because now you can fully recognize what you feel and why you feel it and where it's coming from. You were building up so much self-awareness. And when I was at my loneliest, I constantly used to think about the kind of relationships that I wanted and the friendships and the experiences I wanted to have. And guess what? Now I have it because I paid so much attention to crafting and visualizing the exact idea of the goal I was pursuing. Not something that I needed, it was something I wanted because I was perfectly fine on my own. But I knew exactly what I wanted, that I finally exited the phase of my life where I was accepting company for the sake of having friends. That when somebody came up to me and they liked me, I kind of just let them adopt me because at least somebody liked me, and that was good enough. No, the loneliness allowed me to figure out exactly who I want to be in my life. And that way, when I was out and about and I was talking to people and meeting people, if somebody liked me, that wasn't a green flag. That wasn't something to be considered. I had so many more standards and things I was aware of that I wanted, and I wasn't about to just accept anybody into my life, because I know that I am fully deserving of being able to meet all of those standards in my friendships. When I jumped from friend to friend or relationship to relationship, I was constantly stuck in this low vibrational state. And that's because majority of that action was coming from a place of fear, because I thought, well, what if I don't have anybody? But when you're lonely and you feel as though you're already in that place, you have nothing to lose. You only can go up from here. You can only grow. You can only learn more about yourself. You can only set your standards even higher. Right now, you are doing the biggest favor to your future self by not immediately racing to what you think you want, and instead waiting it out and allowing it to come to you and waiting for the right time and until you meet the right people, not chasing people for the sake of it, not placing yourself in environments that you know don't fulfill you and that you know that you don't like. You are living and experiencing every single moment just as it comes. And most people don't even allow themselves that privilege. The privilege is that life is a constant journey of learning as you go along, and that's in every situation, good or bad. You stay present in completing fully each phase of your life rather than rushing to escape it, to run from yourself, to run from the difficult emotions. And in staying in that presence that the loneliness is giving you, you learn more about what you need personally, that you need to create a life that's best suited to your needs, rather than simply being distracted by dopamine spikes and running away from difficult emotions, which only get you into the most misaligned situations of all. 10. You clicked on this video, meaning you are self-aware enough to recognize what isn't working in your life. You are self-aware enough to know, I don't really like my current circumstances. I'm not feeling great about myself. I need some comfort. I need some reassurance. So you read and you listen to podcasts and you click on articles and videos that you think might make you feel better. You constantly self-educate because you are so determined to take control of the way you live and the way you feel and think. And the biggest change and growth that happens in your life is when you finally recognize what's not working and then you try something new because of it. You don't throw yourself a pity party. You don't think that you're the unluckiest person in the world. You take action by learning information to reassure yourself, like watching this video, or you step outside of your comfort zone to talk to new people and make a new type of friend. You decide that you're going to start journaling to a closer relationship with yourself. You never would have gotten here without that level of critical thinking. So give yourself a pat on the back because you're not victimizing yourself. You're taking actions to improve your life. And that is a very, very rare skill. Fact 11. Loneliness is not deserved. Loneliness is a gift. People are taken away from us for a reason. We are given period, months, a year of loneliness for a reason that will benefit us. We don't align with people for our own best interest. I thank the universe for all of the people that were taken away from me. I thank the universe that the people I thought were my friends, I was then distanced from. And I spent a year of my life, 2 years of my life, feeling so alone. And while I was watching everybody else party, and while I was watching everybody in their big friendship groups, I look back now and I'm so grateful because now I realize I was isolated for a bigger purpose. And it's as easy as that. It's so easy for me to look back and realize that now, but you need to give yourself that reassurance that those people aren't meant to be in your life. And they were removed for a reason so that you could get on the life path that you were meant to have. Because I sure as hell would not be living the amazing life I am now with the amazing friends I have, with the amazing career, the self-awareness, the self-love, the confidence, if those people were still in my life. In fact, I'm preparing myself for my next period of loneliness, whenever that may be, because I know it will be necessary, and I know it will benefit my growth, and I know it will mean that my life is up-leveling and improving, and getting to where it needs to be. You need to develop so much trust in your journey because everything is always happening for you, not against you. 12. Loneliness is not a destination. It's simply a transition. I think a lot of the times we really upset ourselves by thinking, that's it. I'm not worthy of the friends. I'm never going to find them. Why does my life look like this? Your life isn't going to look like that forever. This is only a phase, and it's such an important phase. And I say it's a transition because it is transitioning. Your life from you being so comfortable with the old to you transitioning into accepting all of the new abundance that is about to come into your life. Because just like I say with manifestation, the only way that you can finally manifest the things you've always wanted and attract all of this new into your life is finally by letting go of the old. You cannot have both. You cannot attract new opportunities and more aligned friends by clinging on to what doesn't serve you anymore. And so you will find yourself in a period of aloneness as all of the things that no longer serve you or were never meant to serve you past a certain timeline will start to crumble away. They're crumbling away to prepare you for the blessings that you only could have wished for. In a way, you have to start from the beginning again to create a new and improved life for yourself. 13. For the people that are in their 20s, stressing about not having any friends, not liking their life, not having gotten far enough yet, you are just starting your life right now. Because think about it, the first 10 years of your life, you were a child. The second 10 years of your life, you were in school. You're going through puberty. You still weren't even a fully functioning human being yet. You were learning about yourself and your body. You were still developing. In the first few years of your 20s, when in the lead up to your 20s even, you were figuring out your career, you were probably still in education, you were probably having work experience. You were only just starting to step into the real world. You were probably just having your first experience with making money in your early 20s. And so now you're 25, and you have officially just started your life. Your frontal lobe of your brain has just developed at this age. You are finally a fully grown adult who has had experience in friendship and education and work, with money, and having your own freedom, and being able to go out into the world alone. So why are you criticizing yourself and not having it all figured out when up until this point you were just growing? You have had such minimal life experience up until this age. Now is when you start, because now is when you finally have all of the tools to be able to start. You look at your life and think that you're having a quarter-life crisis, but you haven't even lived a quarter of your life, because majority of it, you were a literal child. There is nothing you could have done, so why do you expect to have it all figured out? Please, why do you expect that you should have found your lifelong friends when your life is literally just about to start? Now is the time that you're about to make progress, and that you're about to grow, and know who is actually meant for you. 14. Just because your life isn't perfect doesn't mean you're failing. I want you to recognize how far you've come. I want you to remember that you're living in at least one answered prayer right now. This moment, you might not have it all, but at one point you prayed for the things you have now, whether it's being in the school that you're in, having the grades you have, being employed, having grown your confidence. How much easier would your life get if you finally took a break from wondering what you could be doing better to taking a step back and appreciate how well you've been doing? And finally, 15. All that matters in this life is how you see yourself. It doesn't matter how boring your weekends are, how big your circle is, how many people turned up to your birthday party. How do you see yourself? How do you feel when you go to bed every single night, knowing that you did your best at getting through yet another day? How do you pick yourself up when you feel down? How do you look at your future in full confidence, knowing you are about to get everything you want? All of the things that you so desperately seek within other people already exist within you, babe. It's just time you finally let yourself receive it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this gave you some joy and some comfort. If it did, comment. Down below, let me know which number fact was your favorite. I would love to know, and I'd love to respond to you guys too. Bye.